And you know, the reason God goes through all the trouble of dealing with people like us.
If God knew everything, he knew humans would sin, so why create us?
Alright, so when you're making a statement like this, there are three hidden assumptions that you're making. When you say God knew everything, you're implying that foreknowledge equals causation. Let's break that down. So knowing something will happen doesn't cause it to happen. Watching a replay of a game doesn't make the players act. Therefore, knowledge does not equal coercion. What you're essentially saying is, if God knew, then I'm not accountable, and that transcribes to, I don't want justice, I want an excuse. Number two, when you say would sin, you're implying that a world without sin would be better than world with redemption. Let's break it down. So some goods only exist in a redeemed world, like forgiveness, sacrifice, mercy, and grace. What you're essentially saying is, I want the freedom to sin without the reality of judgment, and that transcribes to, I lack critical thinking skills. And finally, you're implying that creating beings who can fail is immoral. Let's break that down. Freedom requires the possibility of failure. Real choice includes the risk of wrong choice. So you don't want, number one, for love to become programming, and number two, for obedience to become automation. And what you're saying is, if God created me knowing I'd fail, I don't want responsibility. And that transcribes to, I'm uncomfortable and I have a tremendous ego. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life. What this verse is saying is, choice is explicit and humans are not programmed. He indeed was foreordained before the foundation of the world, that was manifest in these last times for you. And this verse talks about redemption plan before creation.
And you know, the reason God goes through all the trouble of dealing with people like us, who have the free will to choose sin, is because of his immense love for us. Let's read the word. For when we were still without strength, in due time, Christ died for the ungodly. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet perhaps for a good man someone would even dare to die. But God demonstrates his own love toward us, in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us.